tonight.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. I mean, when you look at the numbers, he's done an outstanding job when you talk about distribution. Touchdown to interception ratio is really, really good. You want to get that completion percentage up a little bit higher, but he has been really good for this team, and he gets the ball out of his hands quick as well.
Yeah, 8 touchdowns, just that 1 interception. And if he's going to have success, he's going to rely on this guy, Will Shepherd. They targeted him 16 times 2 weeks ago in Missouri, but only came up with 3 receptions. They'll need to be on the same page tonight if they want to have some success offensively. Well, down on the sidelines, once again, is Andrea Carter. Let's join her right now. Hey, Andrea.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it. Listen, when you look at both of these teams, they're in similar situations, not only coming off of losses to Missouri, but coming off of losses in which they got down by 17 points early. It happened to South Carolina last week, happened to Vanderbilt 2 weeks ago. And I talked to senior linebacker Anthony Orgy for the Commodores. He said those 17 points were all on us. They didn't do anything that we weren't prepared for. We can't come in and feel our way into the game. We have to trust our preparation from the start. Gamecocks defensive lineman Tonka Hemingway had similar sentiments, felt like they started slow all week long. He said they've been working on punching at the football, creating more opportunities defensively, and generating their own energy. Both defenses looking for a strong start today, guys.
Thanks, Dre. Well, South Carolina and Vanderbilt, this has been a series dominated by South Carolina over the last decade and change. They've won 13 consecutive in this series, so a lot of streaks on the line for this Vanderbilt team today, trying to knock off that 13-game losing streak to South Carolina, and of course the 25-game SEC skid. You got to go back to 2019 for their last conference victory. Clark Lee, though, saying all the right things. Seems like he's doing all the right things. You talked to him in our meetings, and obviously it's been frustrating after they got off to a really good start at 3-1, but things have certainly changed lately once they got into conference play. They have lost to Alabama, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Missouri, and they're trying to keep it together. But Deuce, I was impressed. You be around this program, guys. In the past, you get to this point in the season, they're kind of hanging their heads, waiting for the next shoe to drop. But this group is still very positive.
Well, definitely very positive, and I think it starts with the head coach and just, you know, the mentality that he is trying to bring to this program and the things that he wants them to be able to understand and be able to do. And look, he knows it's not going to be perfect, but if they can do it the right way, the Vanderbilt way, the way that they know, hey, look, we may not out-talent every team, but we can go out and execute and do things the right way, and that's what he's asking this program to be able to get to.
South Carolina won the toss. They defer, so Vandy will have the football first. A chance for us to see Ray Davis, A.J. Swan, Will Shepherd, Jaden McGowan, Gavin Schoenwald, the tight end. There are some weapons on offense. They just got to be more involved and sustain drives. And same thing for South Carolina. Look, they played on offense only 53 opportunities offensively last week against Missouri. Hard to sustain anything and get any rhythm at all in that situation.
Well, definitely hard to get in a rhythm when you don't have the football. And so that's one of the things that they know, that they have to be able to possess the football, be able to create and convert on third downs when you talk about this South Carolina offense.
Mitch Jeter, who has rolled into South Carolina and had a great year kicking the football, had to take over for Parker White, the South Carolina all-time leading scorer, but he is not disappointed in kickoffs and in the field goal department. Jaden McGowan, a speedster, back to return this kick. It takes a one-hopper, and that one is scooped up there by McGowan. And he is out to the 26-yard line. Well, the Vanderbilt offense, of course, led by a true freshman quarterback now in A.J. Swan. Ray Davis has been their tailback, up to 564 yards. He's a good running back. They just got to get him going. Will Shepherd, finally somebody slowed him down last week because he was on a roll catching the football.
Well, he's definitely on a tear, and they're going to target him a lot, but they know offensively they have to get some other guys involved as well, and that's one of the things that I want to be able to see them do, and then really get Ray Davis going as far as running the football.
Pressure right away, quick throw. Nice job by Swan to avoid the sack and then throw a dart to Will Shepherd. And that'll be a Commodore first down out to the 37-yard line.
That was Jordan Burch with the pressure there, and you saw AJ just be able to step up just a little bit, and he throws that slant route to Will Shepherd. They are able to pick up a first down.
Vanderbilt's offense averaging 26 points a game. South Carolina defense giving up 24 points a game. Here's Davis off the right side. And we'll spot him at the 42. Gain of 4 on the play for Ray Davis, who came into this game with 564 yards and 4 touchdowns, but in his last outing against Missouri, just 15 carries and 28 yards.
Well, that front against Missouri is a nasty, feisty defense.
Yes.
And so, you know, I know there's a lot of movement as well. They've had some injury issues with this Vanderbilt front, and we'll get into a little bit of that later on.
I would say that the Missouri defense probably the most unrated group in this conference. Pockets clean. Swan trying to hit Shepard. Is that one picked off? It is. Picked off at the 29-yard line by Darius Rush. His second interception of the year.
Hey, we're going to take a look at this, and you know, Rush just does a nice job of squeezing Shepard to the boundary in there. He's able to catch this football, and you know, we can take a look at it, and this is almost like forced. I mean, because there is nowhere to go with this football, and you can see the official throw his hat signaling that Shepard had stepped out of bounds. So another early turnover for this South Carolina defense.
That is the 10th interception of the year by South Carolina. Little razzle-dazzle will come around with Xavier Legette turning the corner, and he's out to the 39-yard line. So give him a 9-yard pickup. Well, Spencer Rattler has not had the kind of season he expected, what his coach expected. There's a lot of reasons for it. 9 interceptions, 5 touchdowns. Marshawn Lloyd not here, did not travel with the team. We won't see him. So Juice Wells going to have to be a big factor, and somebody in that backfield is going to have to carry the rock today, whether it's Christian Beal-Smith, Juju McDowell, even Jaheim Bell. Rattler to throw on the run. Wide open receiver caught there by Brown, and he is into Vanderbilt territory, out of bounds at the 45, a gain of 16.
If we take another look here, you know, it's just a stop route by Brown, and I think that's the best when you have Spencer Rattler, when he's moving, when he has to be just a drop back passer. I don't know how comfortable he is, but when he is on the move, he can make some very, very good throws for this offense.
Jaheim Bell comes in motion out of the backfield, makes the catch, and he's to the 40, inside the 40, driving down to the 37-yard line. That's a gain of 7 on the play. We're going to see Bell all over the place, so we'll probably see him more now in the backfield without Marshawn Lloyd tonight.
Yeah, I definitely think, you know, you have to be able to get him involved, and you want him to be able to have snaps really all over the field. Just get him the football. Let him be the playmaker that he can be.
Second down. And Juice Wells makes a man miss. He's to the 30, and Juice knocked down at the 27-yard line. They'll spot him out of bounds at the 29, however. Boy, Rattler's distributing the ball well early.
He's definitely distributing it well, and he's just watching those safeties and those linebackers, and you can see them just stretching this Vanderbilt defenses on the edge. I mean, nothing really going vertical outside of the hitch route. Everything else has just been horizontal, just getting the football out of his hands quick.
Nate Atkins, the tight end, goes in motion. Rattler going toward the end zone, has a man. Touchdown, South Carolina. Xavier Legette, 29 yards, and that did not take long at all.
Dave, I just talked about them not doing anything vertical. Well, this time it's vertical shot, and it's just one-on-one, a post route, and there, Legette, he's just too fast. And you've got Lucian just trying to trail in the background, but no safety help, and that's a perfect pass, a perfect way to start for this South Carolina offense.
First touchdown of the year for Legette. Mitch Jeter to attempt this point after. And he hammers it through the upright. So the interception sets up South Carolina. Spencer Rattler was awesome on that drive. Capped off with this 29-yard touchdown strike.
took a while to get up here. We started out around 1959. Then we took a hard left in East Africa. A right at Baja. A 180 in the empty quarter. And that 65-degree incline at Hell's Revenge. But we didn't do all that just to get here. We did it to give you a truck that'll take you anywhere. This is the new Nissan.
If you do what feels right, then own your style. Phillips One Blade. Your style made simple. There's always a way to make life better.
Didn't take very long at all. 2 minutes and 15 seconds, 70 yards, 5 plays. Xavier Legette had 1 touchdown last year. It came against this Vanderbilt team and has 1 touchdown this year. And it comes here tonight in Nashville. So a good start for South Carolina, set up by the interception from Darius Rush. McGowan back to return this kick. McGowan averaging 18.5 yards per return this year. Good strong kick that'll be taken, or it'll bounce into the end zone for a touchback out to the 25-yard line. Nice drive by Spencer Rattler to start things off. For more, let's go down to Andrea.
Yeah, Dave, starting things off and finishing things off with that touchdown pass down the field. I talked to Spencer this week and asked him what it takes to hit shots down the field like that. He said it takes everybody. You have to call the play, the protection, the route, the block, and the throw. He told me he felt like South Carolina changed a few things up this week that benefited the passing game. And then he added, I've always been a good deep ball thrower in my career. I have a lot of confidence in it. We saw it. Yeah,
former 5-star QB with an electrifying arm. It's either been guys dropping balls, he's missed some guys. It's just been not much time to throw. I mean, it's been a gambit of things that have cost him opportunities to get the ball down the field. There's Ray Davis on that handoff. He'll pick up 9.
Nice job there by the offensive line, being able to give Ray Davis the edge. And I'm interested to see how aggressive, we saw the first interception, but how aggressive do they come after A.J. Swann a lot here from a defensive standpoint.
Patrick Smith in the backfield now. Yeah, Swann took some shots at Missouri and didn't get to finish that game. Didn't play most of the second half. Turned it over to Mike Wright. And there is Patrick Smith. His first carry will pick up 6, and that'll be a first down. It looks like DQ Smith is down, and that is a tough break for an already depleted secondary for South Carolina. DQ, the true freshman from Spring Valley High School right there in Columbia, who has been, he and Nick Emanwari have been 2 of the best freshman defensive players in America. These guys kind of flew under the radar as recruits, but South Carolina has developed them, and now they're starters here in South Carolina. And while they attend to DQ, we will step aside.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, bringing 5G to hometowns across the SEC.
The meeting last year was one to remember for South Carolina. They led 14-3, but Vandy fought back to take a 17-14 lead after this Will Shepherd touchdown. Now, after a field goal, it took a Zeb Nolan, who came off the bench, 9-yard strike to Xavier Legette for the game winner. 21-20 was the final score with 37 seconds remaining. That was a 75-yard drive by Zeb Nolan, who, of course, was a graduate assistant coach to start the year. He's back to that role now with South Carolina. His eligibility is definitely up.
Well, it took obviously injuries and a waiver system, etc., for him to be able to be in that position.
Schoenwald goes in motion. Handoff to the right side. Ray Davis. Not much there. By the way, DQ Smith got up a moment ago and ran off the field under his own power. That was a good sign for South Carolina.
He's back in now after sitting out one play. He comes back into the game as well.
DQ wearing number 27. He and Nick Emanwari, number 21. The two freshmen in the starting lineup now, and they've been that way for the last month and a half for South Carolina. Some movement up front by Vanderbilt.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, second down.
This offensive line for Vanderbilt banged up. There is not much depth at all right now. A couple of those guys just kind of gutting it out as well. Bradley Ashmore, Jacob Brammer on that right side, fighting through some pain. Second down now and 15. Swan going up top, has a man pass, is caught over there. Quincy Skinner down the sideline. Touchdown Vanderbilt, 66 yards.
Looking back at this throw, I mean, this is just a go route, and it looked like this football was going to be too long, but Skinner is able to run up under it, and you can see the defensive back kind of hesitate. He pauses almost, and Skinner is just able to run up under it and score. This is just a go route.
Skinner's first touchdown reception for the sophomore in Pompano Beach, Florida, but there's some bad news behind the play. That is their leading receiver, Will Shepard. He got up momentarily at the end of the play, took a few steps and hobbled down to the turf as they attend to him right now. Well, we got a second. Let's get an update. Let's go down to Dari.
Yep, Dave, thank you much. Let's update a couple of games. Fourth-ranked undefeated Clemson. We're all watching. Maybe the last losable game on their regular season schedule. At Notre Dame, block punt, Irish touchdown. They strike first. They're up 7-0. And then Will Rogers, Caleb ducking. That touchdown gives Will Rogers the school career record in passing touchdowns and yards, passing Dak Prescott in both.
All right, thank you, Dari. Will Shepard almost looks like he had a cramp the way that they were pushed back, so that is good news. It's not an ankle or a knee type of injury. But Skinner gets that 66-yard touchdown. I got him thinking, everybody. You got to like that, right? He's over there.
Well, that's a player that they wanted to get a little bit more involved in that time.
He's just hugging everybody.
Yeah, he said, like, Coach, I told you, I can do it. I can do it.
I love it. Point afters by Joseph Bulova is up and good. So we are tied at 7, 9:30 to go. While we got a second, here's a message from our friends at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Wherever fun happens, Academy Sports and Outdoors is there.
Well, Quincy Skinner now with 10 catches on the year. He came in with 9 catches and 92 yards, and that one went for 66. So his first career Vanderbilt touchdown as he redshirted a year ago. Didn't play any snaps. Look at him. He is so fired up.
That is excitement. That is hard work paying off, and that's hopefully earning some trust in your quarterback as well as the OC.
Can't say enough either about that throw from Swan between two South Carolina defenders. This is a short kick near side. Taken there by Juju McDowell. He's to the 30 and falls forward to the 31-yard line. Well, coming up next, we'll wrap up Week 10 with SEC football final with Dari, Chris, Benjamin, Takia. They'll take you through the biggest stories of the day, and there are quite a few. They'll break down all those games and get their thoughts on what was a crazy Saturday in the SEC. Boy, Georgia just dominated Tennessee today. That was some kind of performance by the Bulldogs.
They normally are able to step up in those big-time moments, and, it'll be interesting to see what happens in those rankings. And you talk about beating the number 1 team. I think Georgia's trying to say we're the defending national champions here.
handoff to Christian Beal-Smith. Only gets a couple of yards. Christian, another one of those guys, they'd like to get him healthy. He has been banged up this year. The transfer from Wake Forest, just 31 carries coming into this game. Does have 4 touchdowns and ran right into the best defensive player on that Vanderbilt team. Anthony Orji leads him with 84 tackles. The next closest guy on the team is Jalen Mahoney with 42. Oh, some razzle-dazzle. The carry on Joyner trying to throw. He does. Pass caught on the far side by Wells. Juice breaks the tackle to the 30. To the 10. Touchdown.
Dave, is that not how they drew it up? Is this not how they drew it up? I mean, it's almost like a throwback. He wants to hit the post, but it's not there. And he goes and he's scrambling, and he sees and knows where some of those outlets are, and Wells just turns it on. I mean, this is just pure speed. He's able to outrun everyone on the edge or right there at the end of this Vanderbilt defense, and that's a little excitement for that offense.
Carry on Joyner, of course, has taken quite a few snaps as a quarterback at South Carolina, so they certainly feel comfortable letting him sling the football around. But Juice Wells got it. He knew what to do with it.
Just running the over route, and he's just able to make a play.
South Carolina back out in front.
If you do what feels right, then own your style. Phillips One Blade. Your style made simple. There's always a way to make life better.
When the pandemic hit, experts in Washington told us to close our schools, businesses, even churches. They wanted us to shut down for 2 full years. But in South Carolina, we chose a better way. People worked all their lives to build a business, to build a future, and our children only get to grow up once. Working together, we stayed open, we survived the storm, and thrived. In South Carolina, the best is yet to come.
Joyner there on the right side, of course, great Duke's Mayo Bowl where he was the MVP, went 9 of 9 throwing the football in that game for 160 yards, had a 69-yard touchdown pass in that bowl game, and of course just had a 68-yard completion to Juice Wells, the transfer from James Madison. And South Carolina leads it 14-7. A little razzle-dazzle there offensively from Marcus Satterfield and company. The offensive coordinator. That one goes out of bounds. So good field position for Vanderbilt to start this possession. Time to take a look at Fansville. Brought to you by Dr. Pepper. I will say this, there is quite a few South Carolina fans on the other side of the stadium from us. There is a lot of Garnet over there on that far side. For the last 3 drives combined, 3 touchdowns, 215 yards between these two teams.
As an offensive guy, you love it, but as a defensive guy, defensive coordinator is like, look, guys, we have to make plays. We can't give up explosive plays, and both teams being able to produce as far as explosive plays.
South Carolina already with 140 yards of offense. They had 203 all night against Missouri last week. A.J. Swan looking at a 2nd down and 1. Gets the pass off, overthrows his intended target, Will Shepard. Jordan Burge putting the pressure on A.J. Swan. He's got an uncanny knack, especially for a youngster, of feeling pressure, getting rid of the football. Now, he has taken a few extra shots, but he has not been sacked a bunch this year just because of that feeling he gets.
Well, he has a really good feel, and that's really the first play of the game where, you talked about Jordan Birch missed it the first time. That time he gets enough pressure where A.J. Swan can't sit in there and throw that slant route.
Handoff goes to Ray Davis. That'll be good enough for a first down.
Nice job just being able to double team your left guard and your left tackle, being able to come off of that and give that crease just enough for Ray Davis to pick up that first down yardage.
Talking to Joey Lynch, their offensive coordinator. First downs tonight, very important for Vanderbilt to have some success. They've got to get that 3 to 5 minimum on first downs. They can't go backwards. That was a problem for them a couple of weeks ago at Missouri, and really been a problem for them in SEC play. Pressure comes. Swan gets it away. Trying to hit the tight end Schoenwald, and that one falls harmlessly to the turf. Second down coming up.
As we take another look, it's just Edmond, the defensive end. The threat as far as being able to chase down the backside, he doesn't do that. His eyes are completely on the quarterback, and that rushes Swan where he doesn't have enough time to set his feet, survey the field, and he just has to rush it, and it's an incomplete pass on first down.
Patrick Smith to the right of A.J. Swan. Second down and 10. They will hand it to Smith off the left side, and he gets it into South Carolina territory around the 48-yard line. Patrick Smith, a sophomore out of Atlantic City, New Jersey. It's a nice little changeup to Ray Davis. Davis a bigger back at 205. Patrick Smith around 180.
You go from power to speed, and he did a nice job of just being able to find that crease in that offense as well, and being able to get you about 5 yards.
3rd and 6. 4-man rush. Swan, probably a little too much heat on that one. Trying to hit Quincy Skinner, was behind him a bit with some velocity.
Going to take another look. It's the pressure up the middle. I mean, if he's able to sit in there and he can set his feet, that's going to be a completion. But that is the pressure up the middle by that T.J. Sanders, and he was able to split a double team on that offensive line, and he was the reason that A.J. Swan had to rush that throw.
Vanderbilt will have to punt. Matthew Hayball, who's 4th in the FBS, averaging 46 yards per punt. Sends this one down, takes a favorable Vanderbilt bounce down to around the 5-yard line. Good job by Hayball, the Australian transfer out of FAU. Well, tomorrow afternoon, it's the Women's Soccer Tournament Championship. You can catch that right here. The South Carolina Gamecocks will take on Alabama. It's right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. Coverage begins at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Of course, you can always see it on the ESPN app as well. Well, the Gamecocks back on the field. It's the first time this year that they've had touchdowns on their opening 2 drives of a game. They got a long way to go as Jaheim Bell get a couple of yards before he is stopped there, and they better get a couple of guys on big Jaheim. Checking in at 6'3", 235 pounds.
He is a really, really good athlete, and you talk about the different positions that he will line up in, and that time it was just a penetration by that Vanderbilt defense. First time that we've seen the counter action, but that's the first time that they've handed off on the run, and just too much penetration by that defensive line.
Jaheim and his coach Shane Beamer had to have a little sit down after last weekend's game. Jaheim a little frustrated about his playing. Here's Rattler. Breaks one tackle. Maybe he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Might have lost a yard or 2. But pressure came and forced him down.
Dave, I would call this a coverage sack right here, and they just do a nice job of not letting anything get loose in the back end. And so Spencer Rattler has to step up, and that was Kane Patterson that eventually came up with the sack. A nice job on the back end.
South Carolina this year on third downs, converting it just under 40%. Looking at a third down and 12. Rattler out of the end zone. Nowhere to go. Just has to throw it away. And I don't think that got past the line of scrimmage. There is a receiver in the area. So they will wave off any grounding. You saw our official over there pointing to Josh Vann. But pressure came from Anthony Orji.
Well, and it's up the middle, and they just don't pick it up, and they're actually trying to set up a screen. So they were trying to, South Carolina, third and long situation. They're trying to set up a screen, but nowhere to go with the football. And Spencer Rattler, and he tried to buy a little time, but he ended up just throwing it away.
Here's Kai Kroger, averaging 43 yards per punt. Will Shepard back to return this one. Catches it at the 45 and is hit right there and dropped to the turf, but a 50-yard kick. And Vanderbilt's defense forces the punt. With 4:30 to go in the first quarter, let's go to Dari.
Dave, thank you much. Let's take a look at the five-star play brought to you by Yellowwood. It happened just moments ago at Tiger Stadium, where it is raucous. Jaden Daniels to John Emery Jr. stays in bounds into the end zone early second quarter. The Tigers lead Alabama 7-0.
Well, you know that place is hopping. They've had all day to get ready for the Crimson Tide. As you look at the West standings, boy, it's a mess over there. Boy, LSU, there's an opportunity for them with a win here to represent the West in the SEC championship game. Who would have game? Here's Ray Davis. He breaks out for a 24-yard pickup brought down by Eman Wari.
Take a look at it, and they've just been able to spread this defense out, and they're going to go quick on the football. Ray Davis has done a nice job on first down.
He'll toss it to Davis, turns the corner on the left side down to the 26-yard line. Sherrod Green with the tackle, but a 5-yard pickup there for Davis. Vanderbilt going tempo. Another quick throw out to the sideline. They try to get it to McGowan, and the little man push back. McGowan, the true freshman out of Lawrence, South Carolina, coming out of high school. He was the fastest high school athlete in the state. He ran a 10.6 100 meters. And just kind of Vanderbilt, I don't want to say stumbled upon him, but he came to camp here. They loved him and offered him.
Yeah, was able to work him out a couple times, and now it's just being able to try to get him in space because he can run. You just want to get him in space just because of his size.
I think a lot of teams probably stayed away from him because of that size at 5'8", 175, but he has been an asset for Vanderbilt. And just as I say that, it goes right through his hands. And now it's fourth down from the 26-yard line.
When they motion him over and they got 3-by-1, and that's one he's just got to catch. I mean, you've got to help your quarterback out. He's got a defender right in his face, and that hits him in the hands. And we saw a couple times, one, I understand, was probably behind Skinner a little bit, but that one, you've got to be able to catch it if you're McGowan, and you just got to help your quarterback out.
A 44-yard field goal attempt from Joseph Bulovas from the far hash mark. Good clean snap. And that one will miss. South Carolina gets the stop, and they will have the football with 3:05 to go here in the opening quarter. Bulovas now 5 of 9 on the year.
You know, from the offensive perspective, you've got to convert on third down, and then that, from a kicking standpoint, just got to have confidence. You got to make those. I don't want to call it a chip shot, but that looked like a makeable field goal.
The carry on Joyner back in there at quarterback. Pick up a 4. Now Rattler I mean, it worked so well with the carry on the first time around. Why not give him another shot, right?
And it's basically making Vanderbilt defensively have to understand and know who's at the quarterback position, whether you're looking for QB run or, you know, just that regular traditional offense.
They'll hand it off to Juju McDowell. He'll pick up 3. That'll bring up a 3rd down and roughly 3 yards. Jaheim Bell comes into the backfield. Again, no Marshawn Lloyd for South Carolina. Took a shot to the thigh last week against Missouri. Little flea flicker. Rattler trying to hit Leggett, and he can't hang on to it. There are no flags. Coverage back there by Lucian.
Nice job of just seeing the release and Lucian not biting on it and being able to contest at least at the high point of it. You see Leggett try to go up and catch it, but nice job of not selling out on that run fake there by South Carolina.
Kai Kroger. Boy, a booming kick that hits inside the 10 and spins and just does trickle in. Oh, that looked like it was going to kick out right in front of the pylon. And at the last moment, crossed the goal line. So that'll come out to the 20-yard line.
Take a look at it, Dave, and it barely get in. And you talk about from a coverage standpoint, they were almost able to get down there, but just a little bit too much spin on the football.
So A.J. Swan, 4 of 9, 86 yards, a touchdown and a pick to start this game. Spencer Rattler's 2 out of 4 for 45 yards. While he did throw a couple of extra passes that picked up 20, 25 yards, they were behind the line passes, so they count as rushes. Swan loses the football. It's on the turf. South Carolina says they have it. And they do.
We'll take a look at it. A.J. Swan, we've seen him have pressure off of the edge, and this time he's just got to do a better job of taking care of the football. If anything, you throw it away. You don't take that sack, and they're just able to knock it out. I mean, you talked about some of those freshmen. D.Q. Smith is the guy that's able to come in as a blitzer. They move him down into the box, and as he's going for the sack, he's able to knock it out.
Alex Huntley, the sophomore, comes up with the football, forced there by D.Q. Smith. And now a very short field for Spencer Rattler and company. Ball sits at the 17-yard line. Straight handoff left side. Not much there for Christian Beal-Smith. And Vandy says they came up with the football, but the whistles will stop play. Christian Beal-Smith is slow to get up off the turf. He wasn't 100% coming into this game. The man they call CBS. It looked like he was down.
Yeah, I wanted to take another look at it, and it was just right inside, and I don't know if there's movement from the football. You can see right there that elbow goes down and then the football comes out.
Yeah, he is down certainly by contact there. And the problem now is he is really favoring that right leg.
Well, that's one problem, but you talked about it not having Lloyd, and Christian Beal-Smith was already filling in, and so you talk about rotating some of those other guys back there at that tailback position. That's definitely what they're going to have to do.
Rashad Amos has 1 carry on the year. Dante Miller has 6 carries, the transfer from Columbia University. So basically you're down to Jaheim Bell and Juju McDowell. Christian Beal-Smith, the graduate transfer, grew up there in Winston-Salem. Went to Wake Forest before finding his way to Columbia, South Carolina. On second down, they'll run it again off the left side. They'll run it with Jaheim Bell. Bell came in with 19 carries on the year, 64 yards, a couple of touchdowns. Really used him just on those short dive plays for the most part, but looks like they'll do more with him tonight than just that.
You know, they'll have to, and right now you've got Juju McDowell coming into the game, as one of probably your scat back type of guy, but you'll have to do it, and also you can look for them to do like they did on their first drive, just try to throw some of those outside swing routes to some of those receivers as well.
On third down, Rattler over the middle, and that one is incomplete. No flags on the back end, trying to hit Juice Wells. He felt like he was held on the break. Spencer Rattler jogs down there looking for a flag. B.J. Anderson says it was just good defense.
And it was really at the stem of it, like you talked about, B.J. Anderson. It looked like, maybe he had his hand around the hip a little bit, but the officials felt like it was clean. And like you talked about, Spencer Rattler, he came down the field, and Wells is looking for the call, but no flag.
Well, here is Mitch Jeter, perfect on the year, 8 of 8. This from 31 yards. The kick is on the way, and he will split the uprights. Well, this season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State, as they just add to those totals with that three-pointer from Mitch Jeter, and makes it a 17-7 South Carolina advantage with just 21 seconds to go here in the opening quarter.
Explosive plays for South Carolina so far have given them the advantage, and then the turnovers for Vanderbilt offense. I mean, they've turned the football over twice, and you've given them a short field once, and just extra possessions for that offense.
Vanderbilt already creating some problems of their own with the turnovers, but you gotta give the defense a little credit for that stop there on a short field, forcing the field goal.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if they don't give up the explosive plays, this game is a lot closer as well. And so you talk about the trick play that kind of got them as well, and then to the long post across the middle. I mean, if you eliminate those, then I mean, this score is a lot closer.
Already the interception. Lost that fumble. They've missed a field goal already. So you want to add all up. They scored a touchdown off that interception. They got the field goal off that fumble a moment ago. So really in the missed field goal, a 16-point swing at all that. Or excuse me, 13-point swing at all that. South Carolina by 10. Patrick Smith dancing around. He'll pick up a few yards. Jordan Birch on the stop for South Carolina, and that'll probably be it for the first quarter of play. South Carolina's offense, remember, just 200 yards of offense last week against Missouri. Here in the first quarter, they put up 149, and they lead it by 10. Second quarter coming up on the other side.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz.
Each year at the Home Depot, we get so ecstatic. We pull out the tools to make holiday magic. All through November, we have Black Friday savings because no one should wait to get decorating. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
T-Mobile. Boy, nice look at Broadway down in downtown Nashville. As you look at the first quarter recap, obviously a little trickery from South Carolina. Juice Wells with a 68-yard touchdown pass from the carry-on Joyner. Quincy Skinner also went big for Vanderbilt. He had a 66-yard touchdown reception. We sit here at 17-7 starting the second quarter. Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister, Andrea Carter is down on the sidelines. Glad you could join us. Quick hitter coming near side. That'll get it out over the 30. Gain of about 7 yards there. Jaden McGowan. Tell you what, it's once he gets down, it's hard to find him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just because of the size, and that's one of the reasons you want to be able to get him in space, just because he can be that jitterbug for you.
Boy, they ended up spotting the ball out to the 33-yard line, so give him an 8-yard pickup. It's 3rd down and 2 now. Straight handoff with some hard running by Ray Davis. Will pick up the first down and give him 6. Boy, he hits the hole in a hurry.
He definitely hit it in a hurry, and you go back and look at it, it's right there on the edge where he has to make a decision. You've got DQ just in the box and almost making that play, and you can see him clapping and upset with himself. But Ray Davis just saw how his offensive line on the right side had got movement for him, and he was able to pick up the yardage for the first down.
A couple of tight ends for the Commodores. A lot of movement offensively. They'll hand it off right side. That one will go to Patrick Smith. Patrick Smith picks up 8 yards. Patrick with 4 carries, 12 yards. Davis 7 for 51.
So far, that offensive line has done a nice job. You talked about the shifts, the movement, just to be able to play with those linebackers, play with their eyes a little bit.
On 2nd down and 2. Give it to Smith. He has the first down. He's to the 41-yard line of South Carolina now, and a 12-yard gain. They're finding some holes.
Well, it's interesting. You saw him run inside, and this time they're able to just be able to hit him on the edge. And, you talk about having the edge right there. Jordan Birch, he's reading, and you see A.J. Swan hand it off, and Patrick Smith uses his speed and quickness to be able to get there to the perimeter. Another nice game for this Vanderbilt offense.
Boy, another big hole. There goes Davis. He's to the 20, stiff arm at the 10, and dropped down inside the 5-yard line.
Dave, I'm really surprised. You see the double team right there, and at the point of attack, they cannot make the play. Pickens had a shot at it, but cannot make the play. And you talk about all the shuffling that offensive line kind of has had to do. They've been able to get movement up front against his South Carolina defense.
Davis hobbles off to the sidelines after that big 32-yard pickup. Now up to 88 yards on the ground for Davis. Couple of tight ends. They'll move him to the near side. Smith bouncing around. Cuts it back, and he is met by a wall of white jerseys there. A couple of missed tackles by South Carolina. They could have got him for a bigger loss. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Well, the guy that you have to really brag on that time, and he's coming out of the game, is Jordan Birch. He did a nice job of just making sure that they could not get outside, because with the shift and the motion, it looked like Vanderbilt was going to be able to get outside. He was able to anchor down and force that run back inside, and really nowhere for Patrick Smith to go after that.
2nd down and goal. Smith stays in the game. Pass caught there by Skinner. Breaks a couple of tackles. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. Skinner's second touchdown catch of the night.
Dave, we take another look at it. It's just a slant route inside, and we talked about him telling coach, hey, I want another opportunity. I want another opportunity. He gets that opportunity, is able to break a tackle and get into the end zone, and that was Brad Johnson that had a shot at him to bring him down, and he just couldn't do it.
Point after is hammered through the uprights. It's a 17-14 game. What a night for Quincy Skinner. 2 touchdown receptions in Vanderbilt. Down by 3. Eight plays, 75 yards, 37 of those by that man, Ray Davis, on the ground. And then it was capped off with a touchdown reception by Quincy Skinner. Went 9 yards. Yeah, that first touchdown he caught tonight. Remember, he was over there. He was hugging everybody if you're on the sideline because it was his first career touchdown. This time it's more of a veteran move, just kind of, that's what I do.
Yeah, I've been there before. You know, I've been in the end zone. I mean, right. I don't even want to keep the ball. I've been there before.
Right. It's just what I do. It's just what I do. I catch touchdowns. This is going to be returned about 5 yards deep by Leggett. He comes out to the 20 and is chopped down right there, and that's where the Gamecocks will take over. A lot of activity going on in the SEC tonight. Let's get an update. Dari, what's going on?
Well, Dave, we updated. Cadillac Williams' debut as Auburn head coach not going well to this point. Mississippi State, Will Rogers to Ra Thomas. 17-zip. Rogers 2 touchdown passes so far. Midway through the second, roughly, guys.
Thank you, Dari. And we were there at Auburn last week, and you could just, the team just lost its energy, focus. Hard to get it back. Here's Leggett has some room out over the 30. He is slung down around the 38-yard line.
Hey, we saw this earlier. This is just another reverse that they run again, and just using the aggressiveness of Vanderbilt's defense kind of against them. And Leggett, he gets the football in his hand, and he is tough to bring down.
19-yard pickup, 1st and 10. There's Bell keeping those legs moving out to the 43-yard line.
And just to follow up about the Auburn situations, that was going to be tough. You talk about Cadillac taking over for Coach Harsin. I mean, but like you said, it was that second half. Arkansas kind of could do anything that they wanted to do against them.
It'd be interesting to see what direction they go for that job. I know there was a game, Liberty and Arkansas, that certainly got some people's attention if they didn't already have it. Well, that was a nice catch on the outside by Jalen Brooks. That was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the outer half, and he just went out there and snatched it.
And he's just running a little stick route here, and like you said, he lays out a little bit for it and able to come up with it.
But still makes it 3rd down and a couple of yards for the Gamecocks. You might be, as long as you don't go backwards, you might be in 4-down territory here. They'll go big formation, the jumbo package in. Tight end Nate Atkins goes in motion. He'll hand it off inside and breaks free. Christian Beal-Smith. Nobody's going to catch him. Wide open to the end zone. 52 yards.
Hey, this is just fullback Belly, and nobody is able to wrap up Bell, and he is easily racing to the end zone. That's just fullback Belly, and they were just looking for 1 yard, but everybody gets sucked in as far as the defense is concerned, and once that happens, nobody is there to be able to run down Christian Bale.
5th rushing touchdown of the year for CBS. He came in with just 91 yards on the ground and goes 52 on that play. 1:49 seconds. Well, the big number of people had an eye on coming into this one was 49. Looks like that is certainly in jeopardy tonight. Christian Beal-Smith to the house. Let's look at Hometown Connection, brought to you by T-Mobile, and for that it's pretty easy. Clark Lee, of course, grew up right here in Nashville, graduated from Montgomery Bell Academy just down the road from this campus, was a great athlete in high school. Matter of fact, he was so good he went on to play college baseball. He started at Birmingham Southern. Then he went to Belmont before deciding to come right here to West End to play football for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Was a fullback here, went on to become a defensive coach, and eventually returns to his alma mater as a head coach. And it's always, he's got an interesting perspective on how to build this program. And he's a big believer in building it from the ground up with a solid foundation. It's not really as much about football as it is about people.
Yeah, and people in life. And so a lot of times you're talking football, but life comes into play as well.
That one's going to that goes out of bounds in the end zone. It's going to end up being a touchback. So that'll come out to the 25-yard line. For more on Clark, let's go down to Andrea.
Yeah, Dave, just as this Vanderbilt offense is taking the field for Clark Lee, something to keep an eye on. Wide receiver Will Shepard spent some time on the sidelines. He was getting stretched out, riding the bike. Saw a lot of head nods like, yes, I'm okay, but he was given a compression sleeve to put on that right calf. So he's got that on. Just keep an eye on how he's moving.
They'll definitely need him. Well, he was targeted 16 times 2 weeks ago at Missouri, but only 3 catches, and he was very frustrated. I think he was more frustrated himself. He couldn't shake free. They were really kind of doing things to take him out of the game, and he was certainly frustrated as with the rest of the team. Davis back in the game. Good to see him back on the field. He hobbled off after that 37-yard run on Vandy's last possession. Picks up 5 there.
South Carolina defensively, they've given up some yards, but they've been opportunistic defensively, being able to create turnovers, whether it's fumbles and or interceptions. They've been able to do it, but just giving up a bunch of yardage as well.
McGowan goes in motion, but they'll run it off the left side. And Davis will have it out over the 35. That'll be good enough for a Vanderbilt first down. Boy, Davis closing in on 100 yards. He's up to 98 yards here in the first half.
A run play counter. I mean, it started with the shift, and then you have a motion, kind of a ghost motion look. And like we talked about, a lot of that is to play with the eyes of those linebackers to see if they can get somebody to bump over or misplay a run gap. And Vanderbilt's found some success running the football.
They'll stay on the ground with it. There's a little stiff arm, and out of bounds over the 45, out to the 46-yard line goes Ray Davis again. That's 11 yards, and that'll be another Vanderbilt first down. South Carolina's defense has been a little porous in the run game. They've allowed 165 yards a game on the ground. That is 95th in the country.
Yeah, I mean, that's porous, but I mean, the things that they're doing right here, you know, you're a little surprised. I mean, just because that offensive line, so much movement for Vanderbilt, so you're a little surprised that they're gaining it at the clip that they are.
Third 100-yard game of the season now for Davis. Run him again. He'll get to midfield, fall forward into South Carolina territory. 5 more yards on the ground. This is a little bit what Clark Lee was talking to us about. Davis is a guy that, you know, you just kind of keep giving him, feeding the monster a little bit, you know. And
let him grind a little bit and just continue. I mean, the last 2 plays, split zone, be able to give it to him. You know, they feel comfortable letting him carry it about 20 to 25 times. And then you throw in Patrick Smith, who uses his quickness and elusiveness, and that's who they want to be from an offensive standpoint.
Second down and 6. Here's Smith. He'll be close to the line to gain as he's inside the 45 to the 45, and that should be good enough for the first down. Give him 7 yards.
So you've had some success running the football. The next thing is normally some type of play action, some type of double move. If you're South Carolina, you want to probably dial up the pressure, see if you can get some run blitz, maybe slant that defensive line a little bit to get some negative plays.
Commodores have rushed for 143 yards. They will throw it here. Swan has all day to throw. Boy, showing you some of that arm talent, but there was some twisting and turning going on down on that 5-yard line area. Demarion Carter, who had a big reception, hit for a touchdown against Missouri 2 weeks ago, was a continued target.
And he just does a poor job of locating the football, and he's doesn't locate it quick enough to be able to adjust to that throw where the football is. And with the success that they had, that was a play action, that was a shot play, just because they hadn't run the football so much, and you saw South Carolina moving that safety down into the box, so it was going to be one-on-one for Carter up top.
Commodores have the most rushing yards that they've had all season. It hadn't even been a first half yet. They'll lose a couple here, though. South Carolina finally gets to them.
Edmond does a nice job this time, and it was a set by the tackle. He set like a pass set, and Edmond, he's just able to cut inside. And so when you set that way, I mean, you're opening up the gate for that, for the defensive end just to come inside, and that's the tackle for loss for him.
Well, he had nowhere to go. He had Edmond there. Pickens was standing there. Debo Williams was there to make a play. Just nowhere to run on that particular play. So here it's 3rd down and 13. Swan. Will Shepard with the reception. They will spot him at the 34-yard line. That's going to be real close to the line to gain. They're going to give him the first down. Quick snap. Here's Davis. Off the right side, will power his way down to the 29-yard line. Gilbert Edmond making that tackle. Gain of 5, though.
And even if they hadn't gave him the first down, I think Vanderbilt offense was out there quick enough where they were going to run tempo and be up on the line of scrimmage.
A.J. Swan now 7 of 13 for $114. Pass is caught by McGowan. Pick up a yard or 2 before he is thrown to the turf.
See just a screen out here to McGowan, and Gibson just comes up and makes this open field tackle. When you can tackle in space like that, you definitely help yourself.
Third down. Vandy 3 out of 5 tonight. Quick throw, and that one is batted down, incomplete. Would have been shy of the line to gain anyway. Will Shepard was the intended target. Cam Smith came up to make the play.
They're just trying to run a little slant route, and Cam Smith, he reads it all the way, and he comes in, and you can see him punching it out with that right hand. But Shepard is just trying to run a little slant route, and that would have been close, like you said, Dave, even if he hadn't made that catch.
Well, they're going to go for it on 4th down. Bulovas has already missed a field goal today. Missed it from 44 yards. So they're going to go for it on 4th down and 4. On the year, Vanderbilt 9 of 19, 47% on 4th downs. Swan has time to throw, but nobody's open. Now he's going to loft it up in the air, looking for Davis to make a play, and that one is incomplete. DQ Smith, step for step with Ray Davis. Vanderbilt going forward on 4th down and coming up empty. It's South Carolina football when we come back.
Say you're looking for the perfect present. You might try looking at the perfect place. A place with gifts that light up a face as well as a room. where it's easy to find the brands they'll love and the advice you trust. That place is your local Ace. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their gifts. Get our best price ever by saving $180 on a Weber Genesis 2. And Ace Rewards members get free assembly and delivery on new grills.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Each year at the Home Depot, we get so ecstatic. We pull out the tools to make holiday magic. All through November, we have Black Friday savings because no one should wait to get decorating. The Home Depot, how doers get more done.
Command Region's halftime report coming up. What Georgia did to Tennessee, Alabama, and LSU, and a great one so far there at the half at Baton Rouge. Initial thoughts on what we've seen from the Gamecocks?
Well, I think it's this run game. Marshawn Lloyd not available to play. 6 different rushers, 111 yards. They found a way to run the football, South Carolina did.
Anybody else?
Spencer Rattler, I talked about it before. This guy.
A bit. Yeah, the run game. Certainly an important part of this one tonight as they toss it to Brooks, and he is dropped for a loss back at the 25-yard line.
Third time that they've kind of run some type of reverse plays. We've seen them be able to just try to attack the edges of this Vanderbilt defense, but that's Anthony Orji, and he just able to make that play right there, and just nice job of just seeing it and being able to run it down from behind.
Well, how about the game he had 2 weeks ago at Missouri? Tied his career high in tackles in that game. Here's Rattler. Flag comes down. He'll dive down. Boy, he got hit from behind. Let's see if there's a flag that comes out. Coach Beamer came out on the field. He certainly didn't like what happened at the tail end of that play.
And I think he has a point as well.
Holding, offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Eric Douglas being flagged for the violation, but Vandy might have gotten away with one there.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Even though your quarterback is giving himself up sliding, it's the pursuing defensive end, defensive tackle that probably took an extra shot there at your quarterback.
So already South Carolina with more yards than they had the entire game against Missouri. That was just a disappointing performance after being ranked in the top 25. Quick throw near side. Juice Wells. He is down to the 18-yard line. He'll get 4 of those yards back.
I think Vanderbilt's going to use one of the timeouts here.
2:32 to go before halftime, and a third down coming up. So we'll take the break as well as Vandy's trying to get the football back. One final push before halftime. Back in a moment. Well, coming up at halftime, you can watch the live performance of the Spirit of the Gold Marching Band on SEC Network Plus. You can start streaming that now over on the ESPN app as Spirit of the Gold making their way down to the turf here at First Bank Stadium at Nashville. It's a rainy day, but of course they knew there was a football game tonight, so the skies cleared up.
Opened up for us a little bit.
Third down. They got to get all the way out to the 38-yard line. Rattler under pressure, throws on the run, pass is caught, and it'll be close. That goes to Juice Wells. They're going to give him the first down. They'll spot him right at the 39-yard line, a 19-yard pickup.
This is a really nice job by Spencer Rattler. There's pressure right there, and he's able just to escape it, keep his eyes down the field, and able to find Wells for the first down.
Well, those are the things that Clark Lee and Nick Howell just shake their head. 3rd and 19, you're giving up a first down.
Yeah, 3rd and forever, and you actually brought pressure. I mean, that was 5-man pressure. You had a loop inside, and Elijah McAllister had a shot at him but can't make the play.
First down and 10. South Carolina on the move now. That pass caught on the far side by Josh Fan. Young man led the team in receptions last year with 43, the 5th-year senior out of Tucker, Georgia.
Nice rhythm by the South Carolina offense right here as well. Outside of those lost yardage plays, you talk about the hole, but they've had nice rhythm these last couple of plays.
2nd down and about 1.5 yards. They'll hand it off there to Juju McDowell, he's got some running room. Juju to the 25 and out of bounds. 27 yards.
Talk about just zone blocking, and they do an outstanding job on the edge with those tight ends. And look, I want to apologize to this offense. Early on I said it was the explosive plays. They are creating those explosive plays by making people miss, putting their offense in one-on-one situations and being able to execute. So they are creating those explosive plays that they probably have lacked a lot of.
Oh, loose football. The scramble for it, and finally Jalen Brooks will fall on it.
It's actually incomplete.
That's going to be, it was a tap pass forward. So an incomplete pass, and instead of losing 15 yards, they'll go back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Brooks, he probably panicked a little bit, and he, say, hey, look, I have to go cover it up. But you're exactly right. Since it was a tap pass, it's incomplete. It's an incomplete pass. He panicked a little bit when he didn't catch it clean as he was coming by in that jet motion.
So instead of that big loss, it's just 2nd down and 10 from the 25.
And the clock stops for you.
Worst things could have happened, I guess. Now there's a timeout taken by South Carolina. Laycock was winding down. But that will give us an opportunity to tell you that on Monday at a special time, 10:30 Eastern, right after our men's and women's opening night college basketball doubleheader, we'll have the next Thinking Out Loud with Spencer Hall and Richard Johnson. They'll break down the weekend on the gridiron, talk about some of the hottest topics for the coming week, and preview Saturday's biggest games. It's all right here on the SEC Network and, of course, the ESPN app.
So is next week the opening week for hoops?
It comes Monday night. Matter of fact, this Vanderbilt team hosting Memphis. Their first game here in Nashville coming up. Jerry Stackhouse and company made some really big strides last year, especially down the stretch, but the new era without Scottie Pippen Jr. Let's see how they handle it without their leader. Jaheim Bell bounces off a couple of players at the line of scrimmage and gets it to the 20. Nice hard running from Jaheim. We were talking about Jaheim earlier today, about last week, very frustrated with his playing time. His coach sat him down. They had a discussion, and basically Shane Beamer admitted to us, he's like, hey man, we messed that up. He's got to be on the field more.
He's got to be on the field more, and we've got to figure out ways and create ways to give him the football, just because he's an impactful player. He's a guy that can make people miss. We just saw it there. He can run with some power, and you just got to be able to create ways to get him the football.
Of course, it's hard to do much when you only run 53 plays like they had last week. Rattler flushed out of that pocket on the run. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown. Are you kidding me? Josh Vann, 19 yards.
Dave, this is one of those plays where you said, no, throw it away, and then you see Vann just come and make a play, and he just goes up high. I mean, and that is high pointing the football, and Spencer Rattler talked about it earlier, him being a really efficient quarterback when he is on the move. He created that. That was not a designed rollout. That was him buying time, and he finds Vann for the touchdown.
Point after is up and good. 31-14, Josh Vann with that touchdown reception in the end zone right over Jeremy Lucien.
You just see Spencer rolling out and just giving his big receiver an opportunity to go up and catch the football. Another look at it from the pylon cam.
Certainly happy on that South Carolina bench. It's been an offensive explosion. We have 571 yards of offense between these two teams in the first half. South Carolina just went 72 yards on 9 plays. And, of course, you got to go back. The key play was the conversion on 3rd and 19.
Well, 3rd and 19 with 5-man pressure, with some pressure up the middle, and you allow the quarterback to break contain, just like that touchdown throw. 3rd and 19, he's able to do so. They pick up the first down, a couple nice throws and runs, and at the end, you have a touchdown.
Spencer Rattler now 7 of 11 for 103 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Mitch Jeter to kick it away. Here's McGowan at the goal line. McGowan has some room to the 30 and loses the football. Another mad scramble. Boy, Vandy having a tough time holding on to the football. But they will retain it here with 1:12 to go and a couple of timeouts left. Well, the college basketball season, we were talking about it a moment ago, tips off Monday night. We'll have a couple of games for you right here on this network and, of course, the ESPN app. It'll start at Rupp Arena. 4th-ranked Kentucky taking on Howard. Then Dawn Staley and the #1 South Carolina women's team will host East Tennessee State. Should be another great season of SEC basketball as the race for a national championship starts in just 2 days. First down and 10. Pass caught there by Skinner. Swan stands in that pocket. Pass is caught there on the tight end, Ben Bresnahan. It's a gain of 9 and a first down. Three-man rush gets to Swan. They've been rushing 4 and 5 on Swan. Boy, now we got some pushing and shoving, some grabbing a face mask, and here we go. Cam Smith comes out of that pile over that South Carolina bench.
Hey, well, first of all, I think it should have been in the ground, and it was Will Shepherd. Will Shepherd, the first guy, he kind of grabbed Cam Smith, and then Cam Smith grabbed his helmet back. The first throw, it never made it to the line of scrimmage, and he was not out of the tackle box. So there, I think that's the first penalty, and then the sack. I mean, you've got, you can look at it a couple different ways. Are they going to catch the first guy? Or are they going to catch only the second guy? Ugly situation for both teams.
It looked like Will Shepherd would have been in the area, right?
Yeah, well, I think he was in the area, and it was, but I don't think the football ever got back to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And he was obviously in a tackle box, and it was an inside move by Jordan Burch, who was able to split the right tackle and the left tackle. Well, the right tackle and the right guard, and Swan, because of the hard hit, he goes into the injury tent. So now I think that's Mike Wright that's out there at the quarterback position for them.
Yeah, A.J. Swan got up and they took him right to the tent.
There are multiple fouls on the play. Intentional grounding. Offense, number 13. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Loss of down, second down. After the play, personal foul, defense, number 9. Personal foul, offense, number 14. First foul's all set. It'll be second down. So after all that,
It'll now be second down. They'll spot the ball at the 34-yard line. They've got to get it to the 45 of South Carolina for the first down. But Mike Wright in the game. Mike Wright did this 2 weeks ago. Came in for an injured A.J. Swan and basically ran the offense the entire second half. Nearly pulled off the come from behind victory. They were down 17-0. Lost 17-14 at Missouri 2 weeks ago.
Oh, and you have to play him different. I mean, because he's a
10-second runoff. South Carolina has declined that 10-second runoff. Second down. The clock will start on the snap.
Okay. So I'm interested why South Carolina declined the 10-second runoff.
So there's Mike Wright. See his numbers on the year: 7 touchdowns, 1 interception. He's rushed it 285 yards, 4 touchdowns on the ground. They'll hand it off left side. Jordan Burch just kind of hanging on to Ray Davis. Gain of 15. So now it'll be third down at about 5.5, 6 yards. Clock continues to move.
And Vanderbilt, they're not in a big hurry right now.
Mike Wright will keep it. He turns the corner. Mike Wright get out of bounds, but there is a flag down. A couple of them. Looks like Ben Bresnahan out there might be whistled for a holding, but then there's an injured South Carolina player at the tail end of that play.
Yeah, he had gotten the first down, but you're exactly right. There is an injured South Carolina player on the sideline. I don't know, Dave. Looked like leg just gave out. They're calling the doctor immediately over there.
During the run, holding, offense, number 86. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains third down.
You can see it right there, the hold. You've got to be able, you got to let it go. And now Vanderbilt uses one of their timeouts with 2 seconds left in the half.
Gibson, the young man that was hurt on that last play, as he limps it in to that locker room a little bit early. Mike Wright back out there. And South Carolina will send 4 defensive backs, and they'll line them up on the goal line. Here's Mike Wright. Boy, nowhere to go. He will throw it to the goal line, and that one will be picked off and dropped. So harmlessly to the turf, no damage done, and that'll be it for the first half. And some more pushing and shoving going on, and a flag comes out right at the Vanderbilt V. Boy, Davis now talking to Jordan Burch. Those two guys still chirping at each other. There is A.J. Swan comes out of that 10 as he walks slowly back to that Vanderbilt locker room, but boy, things getting a little frisky here at First Bank Stadium in Nashville.
You've got offensive linemen, you've got receivers, you've got D linemen. It's a lot going on.
Well, at least this isn't in Ann Arbor where the teams go in the same tunnel.
The officials, coaches, as well as officials, they did a pretty good job of separating them, because as they were headed to their locker rooms, they were kind of getting a little close, and we still hadn't heard the explanation for the flag, and whatever that penalty will be, we'll get it at the beginning of the third quarter.
South Carolina will get the football to start the second half. Well, it's been a busy first half for Kyle Olson, our referee, and this crew. Now let's go down to Andrea, who finally gets Coach Beamer.
Coach, you just had an extensive chat with the referees. What was that conversation about?
Just trying to figure out what the flag was. I didn't see it all, but it looked like after the play, their guy punched our guy. He said that one of our guys hit one of their guys late. So offsetting, we got to play with poise. We're not going to we don't play football that way. We're not going to let it turn into that game. What we got to do is line up and play football between the whistles.
Well, you mentioned lining up and playing football. Offense was hard to come by last week. What is the difference that you feel and see from that group?
Our guys we got a good group, and we're giving our guys opportunities to go make plays, like Spencer on that last touchdown. And we got to get better defensively. I mean, they're getting way too much on first down against our defense. But to have scored 31 points in the first half, I like where we are right now. But this is a team that we're playing that plays really, really hard, and we got to be better in the second half too.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, a team that scored 10 points last week, only had 200 yards of offense, has 31 points and 311 yards of offense. Time to get to the studio. Dart, it's all yours.
Dave, thank you much as we welcome you into the
Saturday night football. South Carolina and Vanderbilt. The Gamecocks put up 31 points in the first half. We have combined for 599 total yards of offense in this one. And, of course, 45 points on the board. But South Carolina certainly in favor. Dave Neal, Deuce McAllister. Deuce, what do you make in the first 30 minutes?
Well, exactly like we drew it up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the big plays. I mean, for both teams, you talk about just them being explosive offensively. Here you have the post route thrown by Spencer Rattler. One-on-one defense, and then you talk about some razzle-dazzle. The post is not available here, but your running back / quarterback has the presence to be able to find his outlet, and then it's just speed from Wells there. And some poor tackling also for Vanderbilt. And here it's fullback belly, and once nobody is able to tackle him, your tailback CBS is just able to get to the edge. And here, just letting your receiver be an athlete, being able to throw the football high. Van goes up, he high points it, he's able to score. And you look at just the total overall yardage by South Carolina and Missouri, 31. You talk about points this week for that South Carolina offense, which has been slow as far as getting off the brink, but not slow that first half at all.
Yeah, it's a good first half for Spencer Rattler as well, as he really was in control of this offense. We're seeing some things tonight from South Carolina we haven't seen all year. And this one will sail through the end zone and out to the 25-yard line. Let's go down to Andrea.
Thanks, Steve. Dave, well, I caught up with Clark Lee coming out of halftime, and he said the biggest thing defensively is unstructured play. They have to tackle better on the perimeter. He said the chippiness after the whistle is not part of their identity. He wants to see more discipline from his group. Biggest news coming out of the Vanderbilt side, though, however, freshman quarterback A.J. Swan is out right now, and they are not expecting him to return for the game.
Thanks, Andrea. Mike Wright will take it the rest of the way, it appears. Spencer Rattler will take it for South Carolina. 7 of 11, 103 yards, a couple of touchdowns. We'll start things off with a handoff to Jaheim Bell, who's gotten a lot of work out of that backfield tonight. Of course, if you're just joining us, talented tailback Marshawn Lloyd, who got injured last week against Missouri, got popped right on the thigh. Didn't play much in the second half against Missouri, not even with the team here in Nashville. So they've had to make some adjustments in that backfield, but it has worked well to this point. Rattler dumps it off underneath. Pass caught there by Austin Stogner. He'll end up losing a yard. C.J. Taylor there to make a play. Boy, coach is really high on C.J. Taylor and what type of player he has morphed into. The sophomore out of Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Juju McDowell in the backfield. 3rd down and 9. Timeout taken by South Carolina. That play clock was winding down. That'll give us an opportunity to tell you that Tuesday night SEC Inside will grant you an all-access pass. Now this is one you won't want to miss here. An all-access pass to the Tennessee, Georgia, and Alabama LSU games from tonight. You'll get never-before-seen footage and sound from players and coaches, a real behind-the-scenes look. The winners, of course, have the inside track in the race to Atlanta, the SEC Championship game. It's 11:30 Eastern right here on the SEC Network and the ESPN app. That'll come your way on Tuesday right here on this network. Georgia with an exceptional win at home today in Athens. Alabama and LSU in one of those just classic slugfests. LSU has taken a 14-9 lead in that game. Here's Rattler on 3rd down and a short 9. Pass caught on the far side, but a heck of a play out there on the edge as the catch was made by Jalen Brooks. C.J. Taylor making a nice play out there on the far side of the field.
And Brooks, he just runs a hitch route, a little stop route, but the problem was he hesitated so much and so long. You talked about C.J. being able just to come up and make that play, make that tackle, and force them to have to at least line up like they're going to punt the football. Offensively, that offensive line did a nice job of picking up the pressure as well that Vanderbilt brought.
C.J. Taylor, former 2020 Tennessee Mr. Football in the Class 6A level. A couple of good plays on that possession as Shepard lets that one roll down inside the 20 down to the 18-yard line. So Vanderbilt gets a stop. It gets the football back to their offense down 17. And Mike Wright will take the reins for this offense, but this is what happened to A.J. Swan right toward the end of the second quarter, and his head just slams to the turf on the big hit by Jordan Birch, and you could just see walking off the field, he just is not as stable as you would like to see from the young man.
And that's a loss for them. I mean, when you talk about having to defend Mike Wright, we saw him have to come in 2 weeks ago as well. So he's comfortable in this position as far as coming in for A.J. Swan.
Boy, in the NFL, that would have been a penalty, wouldn't it?
Would have been close. You can't drive the quarterback into the ground. Would have been close.
So now you turn it over to Mike Wright. Different dynamic with him at quarterback.
Different dynamic with him at quarterback, and he's a guy from a defensive standpoint you have to be able to defend on the edges. I mean, because his speed allows them to do some different things, so you have to play him a little bit different.
The junior out of Fayetteville, Georgia, went to Woodward Academy. Will keep it himself. He's trying to get the edge. Mike Wright will pick up the first down out of bounds at the 30-yard line. Let's go down to Andrea.
Dave, I talked to Mike Wright about his ability to stay ready, and he said when he gets on the field, even if he hasn't been out there, his experience takes over. He said, I've played a lot of football. Ever since I walked in the door at Vanderbilt, I had to come off the bench. He said he loves playing football, and he said this phrase, I will always have the willingness to be ready to play.
Well, he needed to be ready 2 weeks ago in Vanderbilt's last game as he led the charge in that second half, almost a comeback victory. Fell just a little bit short against the Tigers of Missouri. Nowhere to run for Patrick Smith. Zach Pickens with the play, a loss of 3.
Pickens just does a nice job, and it's right there at the center position where they lose. And you talk about just being able to make a play in that backfield. May have been the guard that he was able to beat.
Boy, handoff and nowhere to go again. As now there's some penetration from that defensive front. That's big Tonka Hemingway, the junior out of Conway, who really the last month has busted onto the scene. He has been a hard man to block.
We'll take another look at Hemingway, and it's a swim move this time. And you talk about two guys trying to be able to block him, and we talked about that rotation. That's why I was so surprised, offensive line-wise, that they were having such success. And you've got Moore playing that, Jakia Moore playing that left guard position for Vanderbilt a little bit and shuffling some guys around on that offensive line.
Boy, 3rd and 15. Right to throw. Here's Shepard with the catch. He needs to get to the 40. He's driving. He's going to be about a yard shy. Boy, there's a late hit against South Carolina. Flags coming all over the field. Was that E-Man Worry that came in a little bit late with the shove?
Yeah, there was one that they probably missed early, and then like we talked about, they normally always catch the second guy. You talked about it, and we take a look at it, and Shepard initially, he's going to be short. And then there's the first shot, and then the second shot.
Play, personal foul, late hit, defense, number 6. That's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Boy, it looked like the Vandy player, I couldn't see who that was, came in, put a pretty good shot on the South Carolina player right at the end of that play. And you called it, second man in, gets flagged.
Yeah, the second guy in comes in. That's the initial push and hit, and it's the second guy that they ended up catching.
Yeah, Pickens, hard to miss Pickens, by the way. 6'4", 305. Well, here's Davis. He's got some room. First down inside the 30, down to the 27-yard line. E-Man Worry trips him up, a gain of 19.
Just split zone. And once he's able to find that soft spot in that zone, there's nobody there. And then you've got safeties that's chasing from behind, but we've seen them have some success.
Injured South Carolina player will step aside as they attend to him. Well, there are 4 guys in the SEC that started this year as their second season as SEC coaches. Josh Heupel, of course, has turned things around. Shane Beamer led him to a bowl game, trying to get there again. Need a win here tonight to get to 6 wins. Clark Lee trying to snap this conference losing streak. Of course, he didn't start, but he's trying to finish it. And Brian Harsin last week was his last game at Auburn. Just did not go well from the get-go. It's just a strange situation over on the Plains, how that thing started and how it ended.
Yeah, definitely how it started. Just an odd fit from the beginning.
By the way, Nick E-Man Worry is injured a moment ago on that last play. Went into that tent. And he is the team's leading tackler. And this was the tail end of that play. And it looks like on that tackle, his right wrist got snapped. He was holding it on the sideline. And he's in that tent right now being attended to. And boy, there's just not a whole lot of depth on that back end right now for the South Carolina defense. By the way, Davis now with 161 yards, a new career high. He will add a couple of more to that. His previous was 157 when he was running the football for Temple. Did that against East Carolina back in 2019.
He's done a really nice job, and even there, they stayed with it just on the edges. He's been able to get to the edge of this defense, and just, you talked about the struggles that they've had, kind of a bend don't break mentality to be able to create turnovers. We've seen the turnovers, but at times you've just been surprised how well how well Vanderbilt offensively has been able to run the football. Now it looks like you're going to have, he was in the neutral zone, and you have that left guard that moved and kind of slapped him. That was Moore. Officials talking about it.
Offside. Defense, number 6. Enter the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to react. That's a 5-yard penalty, results in a first down.
We've seen some strange things in this one, but Eman Worry is back in the game. They attended to whatever injury it was. It looks like he's putting on some fresh gloves. That'll get Pickens to the sideline. That'll move the football to the 15 and a first down now for Vanderbilt. Mike Wright will keep it. Mike Wright to the 5 and down to the 3-yard line. It'll be first and goal Vanderbilt after a 12-yard pickup by the junior quarterback. Vandy going quick. Patrick Smith scoots to the right. Here's Wright, keeps it himself, dives for the end zone. They're going to say he's down inside the 1. Second down and goal. Patrick Smith sticks his nose across the goal line, and that will be the Commodore touchdown.
Just zone blocking inside, and you talked about it. Really, all he does is go low. Patrick Smith, he's able to go low, could get up under the defenders and able to score that touchdown.
Nice drive by the Commodores. 10 plays, 81 yards, over 5 minutes off the clock. Helped by a couple of South Carolina penalties along the way. But Patrick Smith crosses the goal line. 10-point game. Carolina not there without Marshawn Lloyd, their leading rusher on the season, but they have kind of piecemealed this thing together, Deuce.
And you talk about different guys being able to step up and contribute and doing it different ways. The first run was a fullback belly. That time it's zone. This is the third time I know they've run 3 reverses, and so different guys have been able to step up, and you can see it. You know, Christian Beal-Smith, Juju McDowell, Xavier Legette have been able to step up and produce because you don't have Lloyd for this unit.
And can't overlook that Jaheim Bell's 6 carries for 23 yards as well. But all told, this is a team wondering how they were going to run the football without Lloyd, but we're seeing how. Some creativity tonight from Coach Satterfield, the offensive coordinator for South Carolina, and that kick goes out of bounds.
Free kick out of bounds, kicking team. The ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
All right, let's find out what's going on around the country. Dari.
Dave, there's a lot to catch up on. All right, here we go. LSU down 9-7 to Alabama. Josh Williams into the end zone. They lead it 14-9. Just underway in the fourth quarter. Michigan was trailing Rutgers 17-14 at the half. The Wolverines, though, have scored 3 straight touchdowns. They're up 35-17, and get this, Notre Dame 28, Clemson 0.
Well, that certainly is good news for the Tennessee Volunteers.
Well, that puts them right back in the. We're going to fall too far out of it anyway.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy, wild ride down the stretch.
You're talking about a Notre Dame team that lost to Marshall earlier in the year, and then they're bouncing back and kind of found their stride a little bit there, and really the number 4 team in the country, Clemson, 28-0.
Most of the guys on game day this morning, they picked Notre Dame. They were smelling something.
Something was going on.
Across midfield. Juju McDowell picks up 13.
You look at that right side of that offensive line, and I'm talking about they moved people. Stogner, that tight end, he in that right tackle, that was just pure movement by the big boys up front.
First down and 10 for the Gamecocks. Boy, pressure came. Rattler felt it, moves to his right, and he will get that one away. And they'll reset their offense. Second down and 10. C.J. Taylor ran right by Rattler.
Yeah, 3 guys that had a shot at Rattler. 3 guys, 2 legitimate that had a shot at Rattler, but you just see his experience. He sees it. He doesn't stick with the play action, the play fake. He sees it. He knows he's in trouble, able to break contain again. And it's incomplete, but it's definitely better than a fumble or, you talk about a sack that puts you back at 2nd and 20.
Juju McDowell stays in the backfield. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. Juju, though, he is hit 45 and dropped right there. There's flags all over the place. There's one on the near side, one in midfield, and one on the far side, all lined up in a row.
And so the one in the middle of the field is probably holding the other two. You're either illegal formation-wise or you're in the neutral zone as far as Vanderbilt defensively.
There are multiple fouls on the play, both by the offense. Illegal formation, offense, more than 4 players in the backfield. That penalty is declined. Holding, offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
Well, it's the second time they've got Douglas on a hold tonight.
When you see both of those officials, both on the outside right there on the sideline, you see both of those guys throw their flag, and it's either, pre-snap penalty.
5.5 to go, third quarter. 4-man rush. Pass is caught there by Nate Atkins. Anthony Orji with that tackle. Anthony just 4 tackles tonight. The team's leading tackler now up to 88. Leads the SEC in tackles per game at 10.5. That's 7th best in the country.
Wow.
That's what he did against Missouri. Of course, a sack. He had his first career interception, forced to fumble, was all over the field, making plays when they mattered.
I thought South Carolina's done a nice job of spreading him out, being able to play on the perimeter and not allowing him to make too many plays.
Orji on a blitz up the middle. They'll dump it off. Here's Jaheim Bell, stiff arms, and he is popped out of bounds at the 34-yard line by C.J. Taylor, but not before he picks up 18 and a Gamecock first down.
And you lose Jaheim Bell here in this play, and Spencer Rattler, we'll show it to you again. He feels it. I mean, there's pressure coming, but I mean, they dropped the coverage completely, and then once they miss that first tackle, that being Vanderbilt's defense, he's able to pick up the yardage that they need for the first down. So that's 2 times they've been in 3rd and long situation where South Carolina offensively has been able to convert.
Rattler's numbers, 11 of 16, couple of touchdowns. Handed off to Jaheim Bell. So close to the 30-yard line. Andrea.
Guys, I talked to Spencer Rattler about Jaheim Bell, and he said that he is such an athlete. He said Jaheim has all the tools you want in a receiver, a running back, or whatever position he wants to play. He can catch the ball, run through tackles. He's a guy that makes the quarterback look good.
Boy, Jaheim has been all over the place in this offense today. It's hard to kind of keep an eye on him. There he goes in motion. They'll throw it to him that direction. Cuts it back. hurdles and flips, and a flag comes out right at the 30. I wonder if that'll be a hold against South Carolina. Mahoney over there making a play for the Commodores.
Take a look at it, and it's just a swing pass to him. Oh, he caught him by the
During the play,
Taylor.
Foul,
Yeah, he caught a face mask.
Offense, number 3. A 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains second down.
While he was blocking, he caught C.J. Taylor's face mask, and that's just a swing pass. And you talked about just getting the playmaker, the football, that being Jaheim Bell, and it's exactly what they do. And he gets close to the first down, but they're going to get backed up because of the pulling of the face mask there by Juice Wells.
For South Carolina, that's now 5 penalties for 40 yards. Rattler. Boy, he just throws it right in the turf. Heads up play. Juju McDowell standing right there, just threw it right at his shoelaces, had nowhere to go, a couple of pump fakes.
Well, it was a screen. They were trying to set up a screen. And so the defensive line for Vanderbilt was reading it all the way. Devin Lee sees it, and so he just throws it into the ground, throws it into, you know, like you said, to Juju McDowell's feet. So it's not, you know, intentional grounding or anything, but yeah, it was a screen that they just read it perfectly. If I'm guessing, Vanderbilt is going to play zone this time. Every time that they've brought pressure, they've been able to beat it.
It's 3rd and 20. Bringing 4. Rattler has a little lane to run. He'll get it to the 30 and wall up there, but certainly gives you an opportunity maybe for the field goal attempt, and maybe even think about going for it. Well, they're going to bring out the field goal unit.
So it's only a 4-man rush. They do a nice job of stunting and twisting, but Rattler doesn't like it. He pulls it down and he takes off. And like you talked about, Dave, right there at the end, that's a big-time shot by your quarterback. And you don't like him taking those type of hits. That was Max Worship for Vanderbilt that got a pretty good shot on Spencer Rattler.
So a 47-yard attempt by Mitch Jeter. He's hit from 31. They'll fake it, come near side. Pass is caught. It'll be a first down inside the 15-yard line. A flag is down at the middle of the field. Tonka Hemingway, who's already scored on a 2-point conversion this year, makes the catch out of the backfield, sheds a couple of defenders, and takes it inside the 15. That is crazy.
Personal foul, leveraging defense, number 0. That penalty's declined. The result of the play is a first down.
Take another look at it, Dave, and you could see just right away where he raises up, and that's the leveraging, but defensive lineman, I mean, how rare is that? Tonka Hemingway showed really nice hands here to be able to catch this pass, and it was soft enough for him where it wasn't a bullet or...
We talked about it, Deuce, top of the show, about special teams and what a big factor it can be for a team that's been struggling a little bit offensively. Maybe not so much tonight, but here we are again with another special teams play that will push this after the penalty down to the 7-yard line.
Well, and you talked about it even before the kick, a 47-yarder. It was going to be a long one, but they felt like that they could pull it off, and they definitely did.
Tonka Hemingway. Got to put him on offense more often. Quick throw. Here's Bell. He gets stood up. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
Well, and here's the interesting thing as well, Dave. If Spencer Rattler doesn't have that big run and make it at least where you can think about it, they don't even fake it. I mean, if he doesn't pick up the yardage that he did on that third down scramble, they don't even fake it.
Jaheim Bell with 10 touches here tonight. Second and goal from the 7. DeCarrion Joyner gets the snap, working the left side. Flag comes out. He gets it down to the 3, but multiple flags come in.
Holding, offense, number 54, 10-yard penalty, second down.
Is that 4 or 5 holding penalties against South Carolina here tonight?
I can tell you one thing, it hadn't bothered them a lot, though. They've been able to pick up the yardage that they needed, even though once they move back offensively, they've been able to pick up the yardage that's needed.
Red zone offense hasn't been great for South Carolina this year, scoring just 82% of the time. That's 10th in the league, 78th overall. Over the middle, and that percentage will go up. Catch made there by Juice Wells. 17 yards on the strike from Rattler to Wells.
We talked about it here. He's just running a skinny post. He releases outside, and nothing Vanderbilt can do there. I mean, you talk about DJ Anderson just being on the backside of it, and he just does a nice job of selling the route like he's going outside to the corner route, comes back in for the post.
Point after is up and good. Spencer Rattler, 13 of 19, buck 53 TDs, no interceptions. Penalties have not bothered this South Carolina offense. The fake field goal to Big Tonka Hemingway. Breaks a couple of tackles, keeps the drive alive. That would set up the Juice Wells touchdown. 2 of those on the night for Juice. Well, last week against Missouri, 210 total yards. It was a struggle offensively. Spencer Rattler super frustrated after the game. He is sitting there talking with Marcus Satterfield, the offensive coordinator down there. And it is a completely different story here tonight. This offense has exploded for 400+ yards. Time to get an update. Let's go back to the studio. Dory.
Let's hit you with a couple of games real quick. Bama down 14-9 at LSU. Roydell Williams touchdown. Now LSU just kicked a go-ahead field goal. 17-15 LSU under 7 to go. Robbie Ashford bringing Auburn back almost single-handedly. 2 third-quarter rushing touchdowns. Look at War Eagle down just 5 late third.
Wow, no quit the Tigers.
Didn't quit at all. I mean, they had a shot at getting back in that game with Mississippi State.
Well, we're talking about Spencer Rattler and the frustration. After the game, he kind of just let it out there, man. It was tough to get the drop back passing game going. Didn't feel like they had a good idea of knowing what to do. I'd say that's what we need to get better at, is just preparing and knowing what to do. I would say tonight offensively, that's frustration. I think everybody was frustrated talking to the coaches and players this week after that performance and getting the top 25. But tonight, they have certainly looked like they know what they're doing.
And it's looked fun for them as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, Deuce. I do. I think it's a lot of energy, a lot of juice. Another couple of flags down, but yeah, playing with some fire tonight.
Yeah, a lot of passion out there, playing with some flair. Offensively, you're not scared. You know, we talked about it going into the opener, of them being able to do some things special teams wise, and that's believing in your guys and showing them that, hey, look, it's going to pay off for you.
Daring to play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense, number 50. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Still first down.
Bradley Ashmore. Well, we've gotten to know our referee, Kyle Olson, quite well tonight.
And that's one that Coach Beamer, has been saying, hey, look, they are involved. They are hitting us as well. You're catching the second guy after retaliation, but it's not just because they're getting hit also.
Clock starts, 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Back to a 17-point South Carolina advantage. Dump it off to McGowan. E-Man Worry pushes him out of bounds. Well, it's crazy to think that Nick E-Man Worry and DQ Smith, a couple of guys on that back end, are true freshmen. And McGowan's a true freshman too, but these guys weren't the 4 or 5-star celebrated recruits. And yet South Carolina and their staff identified the talent at camps. And when E-Man Worry came to camp a year ago, once they saw him, they knew right away this dude could play. And they were like, oh no, we got to keep this down. Hopefully he won't go to any other camps. They felt like they had stolen one with him.
And he's only going to get better.
And the other aspect, you think about DQ Smith, the corner. He was a high school quarterback. They didn't even know if he could tackle. Now he's starting. Here's what I do know. That place is hopping down on Broadway tonight. I'll see you there in a bit. Look at our game summary. A 17-point South Carolina advantage. They've scored in every quarter. It's been really a solid effort offensively tonight for this South Carolina team. A.J. Swan left the game, 10 of 18, 127 yards. No official word yet, but we saw the violent hit where his head slammed to this turf. And it's been Mike Wright at quarterback ever since. That was late in the second quarter. Here's Mike Wright now, flushed out of that pocket. Mike going to try to pick up as much as he can and throws it away at the last minute. The incomplete pass.
Defensively, South Carolina showed double A gap blitz, and they really got out of it and only rushed 4 guys. And once they did that, Mike Wright really never was comfortable and didn't keep his eyes down the field. He breaks containment as far as the pocket is concerned, but has to eventually just throw it away.
Hayball's punt coming to the near side. Boy, takes a favorable Vanderbilt bounce inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. A booming kick from Hayball, who had a career-long 77-yarder earlier this year. 61 yards on that punt. Hey, don't forget, coming up next, wrap up week 10 with SEC football final with Dari, Chris, Benjamin, and Takia. They'll take you through the biggest stories of the day and break down all the games. And there's a couple of good ones going on. Mississippi State's up 5. LSU's up a couple. Of course, Georgia takes down Tennessee today. Liberty upsets Arkansas. Kentucky holds on to beat Missouri. And earlier today, Florida just rolled up on Texas A&M in College Station. Rattler from the end zone over the middle. Pass is caught right there by Brooks. That'll be a first down. Gain of 17.
And they're off of the action, the play action as far as the counter is concerned. You get Spencer Rattler just to drop back and deep middle stop route by your receiver. Looks like he's running the post and he sees deep the middle of the field is not open. He sits it down.
Hand it off to Bell. Trying to stretch it out to the 29-yard line. He'll pick up 4. Well, you want to talk about a mess. Texas A&M's a mess right now, huh?
Yeah, they're a mess, but I have to probably, you hate to say mulligan in that situation, but they had a number of guys, starters out with the flu, and so, you talk about the starting quarterback that would have played as well as some of the offensive linemen. They were missing. They fought, but, there's still a lot of talent, a lot of young talent as well at A&M, but it's still, not what you expected coming into the year.
They're now 1-4 in the league. Carrion Joyner gets the snap. Picks up 8.
Saw him run outside zone in the first play. In that play, they come right back to a QB power kind of look with Joyner.
Bell breaks a tackle out over the 45. Brought down by Ethan Barr.
We've seen them stretch this defense, and that's just speed sweep to the outside. And you talked about how big and physical Bell is, being 6'3", 230, and he gets moving. He's a ton to bring down.
South Carolina's had 8 different players rush the football. They've had 9 different players make a catch. So a couple of yards by McDowell makes it 2nd down and 8. Gamecocks up to 452 yards of offense. Gamecocks came in averaging 352. Play clock down to 5. Rattler steps up. Deep down the middle. That one's incomplete. Overshot everybody. Trying to hit Juice Wells down the middle.
See if Spencer Rattler, if there's pressure, see if he can break contain again. He's done a good job so far tonight doing so.
Boy, a dime package for Vanderbilt. They'll bring some heat. Over the middle, pass is caught there. Josh Vann will be shy of the first down line, which is at the 43. He has stood up around the 48-yard line. So it'll be 4th down and about 5. Mahoney, the first one there for the Commodores. Offense going to stay on the field.
Vanderbilt brought pressure, but you see South Carolina able to pick it up again, and Spencer Rattler able to get the pass off, but just not enough yardage to convert for the first down.
Vanderbilt trying to get set here on 4th down. And now South Carolina has to take a timeout. Both teams confused.
Yeah, it was right before the delay of game as well.
So we'll take the timeout as well. 4th and 5 when we come back.
Norinoke in studio. Let's look at the road to the championship, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. And this is simply a Bryce Young play. As Chris Doering might say, it's Bryce Young being Bryce Young, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him, finding time. Ja'Cory Brooks finds some space, and Alabama takes the lead, 21-17.
Craziness. What a game. I tell you what, Bryce Young is, I mean, we've seen some talented QBs come through that Alabama program, but I mean, Bryce Young is something else now.
He's a playmaker, and he's not a very, very big man either.
Great feature on him on game day. I love what he said. He goes, this isn't a job. This isn't work for me. I love coming in here studying football. It's what I enjoy. It's my hobby. It's my passion. would say that South Carolina's made some adjustments to slow down this Vanderbilt offense. Just 77 yards on 15 plays. And certainly when you're behind, the pass game is not the forte of Mike Wright. And when you're trying to play catch up, this is a tough dynamic for the Vanderbilt offense. Oh, he was close to picking up a lot more than just 7 or 8 yards on that play off the left side.
And we've seen them run that a couple different times, and they've gotten some really good yardage out of that QB badge type play. And what's interesting though, it's been the penalties that have set them back, and like you talked about, they just haven't been able to overcome them and put themselves in situations where they had to punt the football away. And when you can't convert on third downs, then I mean that limits the number of touches and plays that you'll have offensively.
Mike Wright going up top, trying to hit McGowan, and this one is over the head of all 3 players back there. A couple of Gamecocks and McGowan, and
Davey had it. Davey, you look at this, he has it. But this ball, like we just talked about, he is not the passing quarterback. I mean, because if this ball is really thrown out there, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. McGowan has them beat, but since that ball hangs up in the air, and McGowan comes up limping a little bit, but since that ball hangs up in the air, South Carolina defenders are able to recover.
Good time to take a shot though on 2nd down and 2, so they'll hand it off here, but I don't think they got the first down. It might be 4th down coming up, and about a yard or half a yard. And down 17 with 9:22 to go.
And they're going to keep their offense out there. You'll take another look at it, and that defensive line, they're able to shed blockers, and Pickens does a nice job, as well as Reed does a nice job. Both of those guys are able to fight off blocks, and you know, I'm putting my quarterback on the edge. I am allowing him to have that decision in that situation. I think it was a timeout by South Carolina here right before the snap.
Prior to the snap, timeout, South Carolina. They're first of the half. Timeout on the field.
Timeout on the field, 4th and 1. Back in a moment.
SEC Saturday Night is presented by T-Mobile, bringing 5G to hometowns across the SEC.
Spencer Rattler with 3 touchdown passes tonight here at First Bank Stadium. He has looked sharp. I mean, it hasn't been fancy by any stretch of the imagination. It's just been clean. 15 of 21, 171, and 3 touchdowns.
Definitely been clean. He's hit some throws that, you know, you expected him to make, and being able to get out on the perimeter, scrambling a little bit, also has done his job.
I think the biggest number there was on the right side with no interceptions. But a big 4th down coming up right now for Vanderbilt. 4th and a yard, backed up at the 22.5-yard line. They'll just go handoff left side, and they'll have the first down over the 25 as they go to Davis, who's having a career day running the football, up over 160 yards on the ground. Wright throws near sideline, and that one's incomplete and out of bounds. Trying to hit Shepard, who has been quiet tonight. Shepard has 3 catches, 38 yards. He has been targeted 7 times tonight.
But even that throw right there, Dave, on the fade, I mean, that's almost like it's forced. I'm gonna just give, he is squeezed all the way to the sideline. Very similar to the interception that was early in the game by A.J. Swann. It's almost like I'm just gonna force that opportunity to Shepard.
Boy, only rushed 2. Shepard makes the catch. Out to the 45-yard line. Nice grab there by Will. He'll pick up 20. Shepard makes the catch down to the 27-yard line. Back-to-back excellent plays by the wide receiver, 28 more yards.
And this is a go route, and this is why I guess you say I'm going to force the football to him, because he does make plays for you.
Right. Running near side. He's to the 22-yard line and out of bounds, so we'll pick up. There's a flag back at the 10-yard line on the far side of the field.
Illegal substitution defense, more than 11 players on the field at the time of the snap. It's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
Well, that's seven penalties for 70 yards for South Carolina.
You talked about the only rushing 2 or 3 guys earlier, and that was a defensive lineman that was trying to get off the field, and Vanderbilt just snapped it, and that's where you got called for the infraction.
So now first down and 5 from the 22. Pass caught there by Quincy Skinner. He'll mark his forward progress at the 21, just a short gain of a yard. Skinner now with 4 catches today. 2 of them for touchdowns. Corner blitz. They throw right where the corner left, and Shepard makes the catch for the first down to the 11-yard line. A 10-yard pickup. Darius Rush hanging on to make the tackle. There's Shepard. A flag comes in. He was held trying to make his cut toward the end zone. Darius Rush was back there working against Shepard.
Just a nice job of release, and that's where Rush missed him.
Prior to the pass, holding defense, number 28. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Hey, probably a good thing he held him there after the touchdown.
Yeah, if you don't hold him, then he does score. I mean, but it was a slot release where he kind of got beat as he was lunging on that play. On that corner blitz, nice job by Ray Davis being able to pick it up as well.
So first and goal from the 5. Mike Wright scanning the field, scanning, throws to the back of the end zone, too high for everybody. Vanderbilt has put up 436 yards, which is the most yards in an SEC game this year. They had 403 against Ole Miss when they led at halftime, but couldn't hold on to that one. But their season high was their opening game. They put up 601 yards against Hawaii.
A little bit different defense here.
Well, they'll bunch the receivers. Now they'll split Shepard out toward the numbers. Dump it underneath to Davis. It's a race to the goal line, and he wins it. Untouched to the end zone from 5 yards out, and the Commodores have pulled to within 11.
Take another look at it, and you talked about that bunch, and so it's almost like it's a pick route because all of 3 of those receivers, they're running slant routes, and so the guy that has to try to pick him up and he picks him up or sees it late is the safety. So really nice design there by Vanderbilt offensively. So I have my back just running a flat route, but he has all 3 receivers that are running slants to clear it out for him.
Vanderbilt going for 2. Davis comes in motion. He'll fake it to him. Mike Wright throws it just up for grabs in the end zone, and that one is picked off in the end zone. No flags on the field, so it will remain an 11-point South Carolina advantage. 6:06 to play. It has been an exciting day of SEC football. Kentucky holds on to beat Missouri 21-17. Florida goes on the road, puts it on A&M. Georgia took care of business. Arkansas fell to Liberty, had a 2-point conversion with just over a minute remaining, and they could not convert. Their first non-conference loss since 2019. Alabama and LSU in overtime. Auburn has come back to take the lead over Mississippi State.
What?
Yes. Is that crazy or what?
Man, it's been a wild day.
Well, you can get all the highlights, thoughts, and opinions coming up on SEC Football Final. Dari and the whole gang will be there to break it all down for you coming up when we are finished here. 6:06 to play in an 11-point game. Speaking of Dari, let's check in with him right now.
Dave Deuce, it's just wild, guys. LSU down 4 to Alabama. Jaden Daniels to Mason Taylor. Touchdown. Tigers take the lead by 3. Bama hits a couple of big plays, gets down the field, sets up Will Reichard from 46. Reichard trying to tie the game, 24-21, and he drills it, 24-all. They're going to overtime in Baton Rouge.
Wow. Craziness, just absolutely craziness. Certainly done a nice job at LSU to have the Tigers in the position they're in right now. Here is Bell. He's running hard, but a flag comes in from our back judge. He threw that thing about 20 yards.
It's going to be holding as well. I think that was C.J. Taylor, the receiver. He just tackled. I think that was Wells who was blocking it. He slung Taylor down right there at the point of attack.
I was just super impressed with the throw from Ron Turner, our back judge. He must have been a quarterback in another life.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
There's old Ron right there, slinging the flag at 20 yards. I wonder how much those guys practice that toss.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have your arm in shape to. I mean, because if you're going to throw it that far, you better be in shape. You can't throw it 5 yards and say, "Oh, it was 15 yards on further up."
Right. It's an art form in itself. They've gotten to work today. That's 10 penalties against South Carolina. Vanderbilt has 5. So first down and 17. I'll just hand it off to Bell. It can't break the tackle of Devin Lee hanging on. Big 99, a loss of a yard.
if you're South Carolina, I mean, offensively, you saw Spencer Rattler. He's letting that play clock run all the way down before the ball is snapped. I mean, you want to eat up as much clock as possible.
Gamecocks have run out of timeout, so he's got to be careful not to let it hit zero. Over the middle, pass caught there. Nice catch by Brooks. Kind of just sat down right in that zone, and it gets down over the 30 to the 31. So now you have a manageable third down.
I think Vanderbilt is going to use one of their timeouts because they knew that they were running it down.
So third down coming up for Spencer Rattler and the Gamecocks. 4:43 to play.
Doreen Oka in studio. Dave Neal, you mentioned it a few minutes ago. Auburn has come back to take the lead on Mississippi State. Here's how they did it. Tank Bixby, 41 yards. He's got 91 on the ground, and in Cadillac's debut, they've outscored the Dogs 19-zip in the second half and lead by 1, 6.5 to go.
That is unbelievable. Cadillac Williams keeping them focused.
Keeping them focused and trying to get them excited to play. They sent out a hype video that was today.
Third down coming up here for South Carolina. 3rd down and 5. Rattler out of the shotgun. Boy, the pocket collapses in a hurry, and he just gets rid of it. Had nowhere to go. So that'll stop the clock with 4:39, and South Carolina will punt it away.
And that was one of the only times you talk about Rattler not having anywhere to go with the football. Once he did scramble, that time he just threw it completely away. But more than likely than not, earlier tonight, he's been able to scramble and just make a play.
Kai Kroger to punt it away. He had a 79-yarder versus Georgia State. Longest in the country this year. He booms this one down. Hits at the 10. Spinning. Oh, it just did hit the goal line. Oh, it was trying to back up. And Rush could not save it. But another booming kick from Kroger. Look at it, trying to just kind of come back at the end.
And it had to just hit that line, and the official is standing right there, so he saw it and he started waving. But I mean, Dave, you talk about a game of inches. That is inches away.
Well, tomorrow afternoon, it's the Women's Soccer Tournament Championship match. South Carolina and Alabama going at it. It'll be right here on the SEC Network. And, of course, always see it on the ESPN app. Coverage begins at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Mike Wright led him down the field on a nice 4-minute drive to pull this one to an 11-point game. High throw here, and that incomplete. Flags come flying in after the throw.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Boy, the penalties have really been an issue today for South Carolina. 11 for 105.
And that's Edmond, just after the play, and like you talked about, Mike Wright looking like he was trying to get that football to Will Shepherd across the middle of the field, but not able to do so, but benefit from a 15-yarder.
4:25 to play. That'll move it out to the 35-yard line. Mike Wright hit again as he throws, and this one's incomplete. He's trying to dump it off to Skinner. No flags this time. Here's the previous play on that penalty. That drew a couple of flags, and this was the last one where there were no flags.
You're just talking about Jordan Burch just being able to overpower your left tackle in both of those situations.
Gamecocks bringing 4. Pass caught there by Ben Bresnahan. Loose football. It looked like they were trying to get the beanbag out. Let's see if that is a turnover. South Carolina says they have it.
Well, the question is, did they stop the forward progress? That's what they want to know. If they did not, then it's definitely a turnover.
Ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, South Carolina.
Ball's definitely coming out, and so did a good job of holding him up. You've got one guy holding him down low, and that was Reed, and then everybody else, their job is to come in and strip the football away, and that's exactly what they're able to do.
So the recovery by Zach Pickens. DQ Smith came up there to force that fumble. It's the second time he's caused a fumble today. And they will give it to Jaheim Bell. Man, that's something else when you can line up a guy in the backfield 7 yards deep who weighs 232 pounds. Coming right at you.
Yeah, coming right at you downhill. Vanderbilt player slow to get up.
Darren Agu, the true freshman.
On that particular play, it looked like the guard or tackle was kicking him out, and he was way too high and kind of surprised him a little bit. But he looks like he's going to be okay. But you talk about tackling Bell, we talked about it. I mean, he is downhill. We've seen him get going a little bit sideways, but he's a whole different animal. 230, 235 coming straight forward at you.
So now South Carolina will try to, of course, churn this clock. Second down and 4. Here is Bell again. Could tell it was kind of an awkward handoff. I don't know who went the wrong way.
I'm going to probably go with Bell going the wrong way. Yeah, I'm going to go with Bell going the wrong way. He opens up, does a nice job. You know, the quarterback Spencer doesn't panic at all. They're just running split zone. We talked about the many formations that he lines up in. That's exactly what he did there.
Timeout on the field with 3:55 to go. So Vanderbilt will stop it. South Carolina, boy, they've got a tough road in front of them. They'll head down to Gainesville, Florida after this one, take on the Gators, who certainly are feeling good about themselves after the win today. Then they get to host Tennessee here in Nashville. Or, excuse me, and then Clemson to end the season. Of course, Clemson losing to Notre Dame. I said Tennessee here in Nashville. Tennessee is in Columbia. But nonetheless,
three really tough opponents.
It's hard. We sit up here on this perch. I keep looking down downtown Nashville, thinking, how quickly can I get down there after this thing?
That's all you're thinking about there, just Nashville and downtown. But I mean, if you're South Carolina, hopefully you can get Lloyd back to be able to help you in some of those games as well.
There it is. There it is. Right there. I went down there walking this morning. I was down there early this morning at 7 o'clock. Listen, if you ever want to get down there and have the freedom to move around and walk and not see anybody, go at 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, you're a tad bit early, dude. Tad bit early for the crowd.
Yeah, nothing was open.
Well, and that's why. It's 7 o'clock.
The ruling on the field is a first down. That play is under video review.
Okay.
I don't know what the from the ruling. Yeah,
we couldn't have cleaned that up before. Well, Alabama and LSU are going back and forth in overtime. Both scored a touchdown.
And I think LSU just scored a 2-point conversion to win it.
Oh my goodness.
We take another look at it here.
Well, it looked like obviously that the yellow line is not the official line to gain, but it's generally pretty close. It looked like Bell had it across that line from that particular angle.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't know if you're going to see enough to say no, he didn't break that line to gain.
Mississippi State's come back to take the lead over Auburn.
Going back and forth, back and forth. I mean, you have to like, if you're Mississippi State with Will Rogers at quarterback, you have to like where you're at. If you need just a field goal or even sometimes just a touchdown for that offense to be able to get down the field and make that happen.
I cannot believe LSU came back to beat Alabama. That is a crazy dynamic in Baton Rouge. Clark Lee getting an explanation.
After video review, the ruling of a first down has been confirmed. We will not charge Vanderbilt their third and final time out of the half. They have one left. First down.
Speaking of LSU, Alabama, let's get an update. Dari.
Guys, here's how it happened, all right? Overtime, Bama scores, kicks the extra point. Now LSU's got to do the same. Jaden Daniels, first play. Zone read, works beautifully, gets some help from his friends. What does Brian Kelly do? He says, I'm in the SEC and I'm playing Bama. I'm going for two. What? Daniels, Mason Taylor. It's good. LSU wins and the celly is on.
Man, how great would it be to be in Tiger Stadium tonight?
Well, and you know something special about that as well? Mason Taylor was the wing against Florida State that didn't block down on that play.
Comes back to be a hero for the Tigers tonight on a 1st and 10. Running with Bell. And Jaheim Bell has been a busy man tonight for South Carolina. He is waving bye-bye to the Vanderbilt sideline. Bell has carried it 14 times. He came into the game with 19 carries on the season for 64 yards. Tonight, Jaheim with 14 carries and 48 yards. 17 total touches for 75 yards. I'd say he's been more involved in the offensive side of things.
Yeah, definitely more involved, and I think that's the biggest thing is just being able to get him some touches where we can use him as a grinder as far as a running back, but also get him in some space so he can kind of knock a couple of guys around.
Boy, going to be a real shakeup in the college football playoff.
Well, you have Tennessee to lose, you have Alabama to lose, and
Clemson to lose.
Clemson lose. You figure that LSU moves into the top 8, definitely within the top 10, at least probably top 8 at worst.
And listen, their road is paved for them for the SEC championship now. Here's Leggett, breaks a tackle, and a flag comes out.
Offensive lineman going to get him for blocking in the back. Trey Jones. When you talk about that race, I mean, LSU controls everything that they want to do. I mean, everything is in front of them as far as to capture the West.
Daring to run, illegal block in the back, offense, number 72. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Second down.
LSU has a date with Arkansas in Fayetteville, UAB at home, and then they wrap things up at Texas A&M on November 26th.
An Arkansas game could be tricky just because it's Arkansas up in Fayetteville, but I mean, it's all right there in front of the Tigers.
Of course, Ole Miss was hoping for an Alabama win. That would have set up next week's game as an opportunity for them to get to the SEC championship game. But now that is a long shot for the Rebels.
And now you don't control your own destiny. You need some help.
Here's Bell again on the short handoff, hit there by Anthony Orgees, up to 7 tackles tonight. I certainly hope A.J. Swan is okay. Left the game in the second quarter after his appeared his head. I mean, it was obvious his head hit the turf rather hard, but we have no official word. We have not seen him since that tough play. It was right before halftime. Of course, he got banged up at Missouri 2 weeks ago. 3rd down and 13. Bell spins off a couple of players, and he'll get it inside the 35 down to the 32-yard line. Here's that play we're talking about. Just watch the head hit this turf. This was in the second quarter earlier tonight. Yeah, just a tough look on the way into that locker room at halftime. He had put up more yards and more touchdown passes than any other true freshman quarterback playing in the country.
Well, he's definitely rolling. I mean, it's just gotten a lot tougher for him the last couple of weeks.
Boy, what happened to that football? Did that hit an offensive lineman in the leg?
No, it hit the jet
the motion man?
Yeah,
it hit Brown in the leg. And Vanderbilt will have it with 1:40 to play.
Well, Dave, it all occurred because the play clock was running down, and so they, like you talked about earlier, they didn't have any more timeouts, and so they couldn't call a timeout. And your center snapping it, and it hit him as he was going across, hit Brown as he was going across in jet motion.
Boy, and Rattler can't find the football. He's looking for it. Somebody get it. Where is it?
Just bounced around all over the field, and you talked about it earlier. South Carolina had to burn 3 timeouts earlier in the half, so they didn't have any as the play clock was running down. They couldn't call a timeout.
First turnover of the game for South Carolina. Here's Mike Wright. He slides down. Will get up in a hurry. Boy, South Carolina's got defensive backs all the way back at the 40-yard line. Oh, that one's almost intercepted. That one hit. Well, that just hit Bam Martin Scott right in the hands, and love to have that one back.
I mean, you're only rushing 3 guys, and so everything else is just drop 8 coverage. They're just dropping in the hook zone.
That one is intercepted. O'Donnell Fortune with the interception. That's the 4th Vanderbilt turnover tonight.
That defense has given up some yardage, but I mean, when they had an opportunity around the football, they have converged on it and they have made play after play. When you talk about a unit coming into the game that had 11 interceptions in 5 games, and they have done nothing but add to that total.
15 takeaways in their wins this season. No takeaways in those losses. And now South Carolina will just put a knee on it. And that'll end this one. So South Carolina, a lot of questions about how they would rebound. I mean, let's face it, this is a vicious, vicious league. You're in the top 25 one week. The next week, people are calling everybody out, wondering where are we going as a team, as a program. Well, you just had won 4 in a row. You lose one.
And I think it was probably more so because they lost at home. You lose at home, and a lot of positive things going for you, and hopefully this settles it a little bit for them, at least for 1 week.
And they are bowl eligible for the 2nd consecutive year. Now Shane Beamer has an opportunity to do something that no other South Carolina coach has done, and that is win back-to-back bowl games in your first 2 years. He will have that opportunity as they reach the 6-win plateau here tonight in Nashville. 38-27 the final score. 492 yards of offense. And you got to go all the way back to 2012. The last time South Carolina put together back-to-back SEC road wins.
That's surprising in itself, Dave.
South Carolina will go to 6-3. They will have won 14 straight over this Vanderbilt team, and the Commodores will fall to 3-6, and they have pushed that SEC losing streak out to 26 games. Let's go down to Andre.
Coach, you talked this week about it being a renaissance week to get back to what you all do well offensively. Without Marshawn Lloyd, you all got downhill. How'd you do it?
Getting the ball to playmakers. We got a good group on offense. We haven't always shown it this year, but we've got weapons on our offense, and we made a lot of big plays out there tonight, and really happy for them too. They've taken a lot of stuff, and it's awesome to see them come out there and make plays like they did tonight.
Another thing you mentioned was that the sky is not falling. How would you describe the confidence that your team came in with today's game?
We had great confidence. You know, we stunk it up last week. I get it. Coaches, players, we did not perform like South Carolina football. But I knew we were going to be all right on Sunday night at practice when we came out, and it was probably the most energetic, efficient, fun Sunday night we've had. We got great kids, and it showed tonight, you know, and with all the noise out there last week, a lot of which we created. These guys are a resilient group. We're bowl eligible for the 2nd year in a row. I mean, there's some great stuff going on right now in this program, and we continue to get better.
Plays made offensively, defensively, still a tough stretch left with 3 tough games. What do you clean up with from here? Starting with the penalties. I mean, we gave up way too many yards right now to them. Give them credit. Clark's got a great team that continues to fight. We've been a good team discipline-wise. I think we came into this game one of the fewest or least penalized teams in this league. We didn't play like it tonight, but, you know, there's a lot to clean up, but winning on the road in the SEC is hard. Being a little shorthanded tonight, our guys just responded, and we're going to have a bunch of Gamecocks are going to have a hell of a time in Nashville tonight. I know that. 2nd season in a row, bowl eligible, Coach. Congratulations.
Thank you. And if I can say something, I got 2 of my kids here, Sutton and my wife Emily. They're not here. Sutton's at home, not feeling well. We did it, girl. I love you. I hope you're feeling better. And my wife's birthday is Monday. She thinks I forgot her birthday. Happy birthday, baby. I love you. We'll see y'all in a few hours. Go Cox.
Good job, Coach. You nailed it.
Thank you.
Oh, huge bonus points for Coach Beamer. Well done, Coach, right at the end of that. Well done tonight. Come back and pick up the win. Spencer Rattler and company, 38-27 for Deuce McAllister, Andrea Carter, the rest of our exceptional SEC Network crew. I'm Dave Neal saying so long from the Music City. The Gamecocks win it by 11.
All right, guys, thank you much. Here it is again, how it ended. LSU got a touchdown in overtime.